Well, happy Thursday to my family and friends. I'm finally over a cold. It feels nice, and as a weather lover, it's a perfect time to get over a cold to start looking ahead to this, a potential dangerous situation which is becoming more and more likely for next week, and that would be Hurricane Sandy. And originally, I didn't think that this was going to pan out the way it's looking like, because we have a lot of things on the playing field that needed to come together to allow for this thing to make an East Coast landfall, and now it is looking like they will. So here's a look at what we have going on. We have a negative tilted trough. That's what this is, sitting up over the Great Lakes. This is essentially an Arctic front, if you will, that is trying to stick its nose down. We also have a blocking high in the North Atlantic Ocean. So essentially, you kind of get this idea of pretty much a path that Sandy would have to take, because can't go this way, because you have steering winds around the high pressure like this, steering it this way. Can't go this way. You have steering winds coming like this from around the trough. So essentially, you've got this narrow area where we think Sandy could go. Right now, Sandy is just off of Cuba. It made a Cuban landfall. It crossed over high terrain, and guess what? It only weakened the storm 5 miles an hour. Maximum winds are at 105 miles an hour. This is moving north at 17 miles an hour, and because now it only has the Caribbean islands to make it through, this will maintain hurricane strength a good part of the way up the coast. Now, all of our computer models are in agreement that this makes landfall somewhere along the eastern coast, particularly between about northern Virginia and Boston area. So somewhere in that region. So in any case, no matter where in there it would make landfall, we would still be impacted pretty significantly from this system. So now it's all about nailing down the exact track, the exact intensity. So exactly where this storm would go would change things a little bit, but nevertheless, it looks like Hurricane Sandy is going to impact the area in a pretty decent way, having to go somewhere in this general region. The out-to-sea solution has pretty much been eliminated because of these steering factors at play in front of you. So that's the very latest on Sandy. And so here's a look at the potential impacts. Torrential rainfall is certainly on the table. It's too early to talk about amounts, but we could seriously be talking about at least a half a foot of rain, maybe more, if all things would work out in the worst case scenario. Hurricane force wind gusts are still possible, even that far inland. This storm is so big that even if you go well outside the center of the storm, you're going to be talking about some pretty strong winds. And then also river flooding and power outages. If you have that much rain, that'll saturate the ground, plus winds, that'll easily topple some trees and some power lines. So river flooding is certainly also a possibility, one, because of a lot of rain, and two, especially for places like the shore, we're going to have a full moon, which means high tide. So high tide plus a lot of rain and a hurricane certainly means flooding problems across the region. So this storm means business, and again, looking increasingly likely that we're going to be seeing some pretty significant impacts next week, but the exact details are yet to be narrowed out. I will have Facebook updates with those, but those were the general ideas, with heavy rain, winds, and power outages and flooding, of course, looking quite possible next week. Here's actually no, this is our forecast for tomorrow here. A great day at home for Friday, and then as we head into Saturday, this approaching front is going to pretty much wash out. That's the leading edge of that trough, but the moisture goes away. So Saturday will be a dry day, but on the cloudy side and certainly the cooler side, and then there is the sandy moisture upcoming by Saturday afternoon and headed north. 51 to 55 for the overnight lows tonight, so a mild night for your Thursday. Friday, fantastic way to finish out the week. 68 to 72 with a mostly sunny sky and a westerly wind. So a little breezy, but who cares when it's this warm? Here's a look at the 5-day forecast. As we head through Saturday, look at this, more clouds, 66, but then that's when things go downhill in a pretty big fashion. Sunday, 53 with rain moving in probably by the evening hours. It'll rain overnight Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday just look absolutely miserable. Windy, cold, wet, yuck. 47 Monday with heavy rain. Same goes for Tuesday, except we're even colder with a high temperature of only 42.